And in today's video, we're going to talk about the drama that is Netflix buying the Snyderverse. Did James Gunn just confirm it's actually possible? Let's talk about that. And also we're going to talk about The Flash because they have basically confirmed Grant Gusting to appear. And so much more. So yo, what is freaking good YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, pop culture based content that I try to cover personally on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, let me know. Is Netflix gonna buy the Snyderverse? Could they buy the Snyderverse? And are you excited for the Flash movie? The more details that come out about the Flash movie, the more I'm starting to think it's not actually about the Flash at all. So if you could, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also if you could, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into this video. So there's been a small minority part of the internet thinking that Netflix could actually buy the license of the Snyderverse and the characters, even though multiple online personas and creators have actually said it would cost hundreds of millions of dollars to buy all the right to the Snyderverse characters, that they would need to do a Justice League movie, they'd need to buy a lot of characters, including Darkseid, etc., or at least a license, which wouldn't be as much as buying it outright, just to license it out. So, James Gunn, is he trolling or is he being serious? I don't know. But people actually seem to think Netflix still makes money. We'll get into Netflix's financials soon. So, have you sold the Snyderverse to Netflix yet? Then James Gunn responds with, Netflix hasn't asked for it. Now, there seems to be this perception or this conception that Netflix is trying to buy the Snyderverse because their working relationship currently with Zack Snyder. Obviously, he did the Planet of the Dead franchise. He's doing Rebel Moon, which is going to be his version of a scientific fiction kind of Star Wars based movie in a roundabout way, because Zack Snyder did try and do it with Disney and Lucasfilm, but it got rejected. So it is going to be huge and it is going to come out later this year. So is James Gunn being serious? We don't know. But is James Gunn saying, yeah, the Snyderverse could be up for sale? But as we keep saying, it won't happen because Netflix just couldn't afford it. So Netflix is hemorrhaging money. Why is Netflix losing money? Well, they're not actually physically losing money. They're losing like potential money. So the subscriber loss seems to be due to increased competition from other streaming services, adverse global economy circumstances, and the fact the company has already hit such a level of subscribers that they were never realistically gonna keep that speed up. So Netflix made $4.4 billion net profit in 2022, the company's first decline in net profit since 2012. So it's basically losing money because it's losing subscribers. And if you look at projected stats for a lot of things, Netflix is canceling a lot of its own shows that they actually own. So this whole conception that Netflix is going to buy the Snyderverse and that's going to save a streaming service, when if we actually look at the numbers, realistically, if something comes onto a streaming service that you really want to watch, you just subscribe to 1 month and then go away. If we look at HBO Max numbers when they announced like Snyder's Justice League, the numbers didn't go up by, like HBO Max didn't gain 10 million subscribers or something like that in order to recuperate the money. But the difference with that was they didn't really require that much money to finish Zack Snyder's Justice League. He did a nightmare scene in his literally backyard and it just needed editing, that's it. The difference here is, to do, say, Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and 3, you would need every single actor on board. And seeing as it's looking like Gal Gadot is going to be in Shazam 2, she's going to be in The Flash based on merchandise, and it looks like Gal Gadot is still somewhat got a future over there. So, contractually speaking, in a hypothetical alternate reality, let's say the Snyderverse could exist anywhere else, why would Apple or Amazon not take it on? Because they've actually got money to burn. Amazon can literally burn through money like it's nothing. An Apple TV, or is it called Apple Plus, could burn through money. Now, if it was going to go anywhere, Netflix could not afford it. Like I say, they have to spend a couple $100 million to license out the characters, a couple $100 million to make the first, say, Zack Snyder Justice League 2. So they'd have to spend over $500 million for this to even work. But based on James Gunn's comments, although he doesn't actually own DC, he's realistically got nothing to do with it when it comes to financials, because he doesn't own it. He's just in charge of a small part of Warner Bros. Discovery, which is DC Studios. So he doesn't own it himself. It's owned by Warner Bros. Discovery. So if Zaslav wanted to do this, sure he could. But selling it to Netflix doesn't make any business sense. And I get it. I get it. They sold off a Z-list show that has nothing to do with anything to the fact that No, it's like a Spawn spin-off from Swamp Thing. No one really knew anything about detectives anyway, did they? No, you didn't really know anything about it. So this whole conversation that Netflix is going to be the savior, they've not asked for it, and people are like, and then you read the comments, well, let's start asking Netflix for it. You can ask Netflix all you want. Netflix cancels shows that are very popular. The reason why Netflix is losing a lot of subscribers is because they keep canceling their really popular shows after one season. So I get it. It's cool that people want the Snyderverse to continue, but there is this page, I guess you could say, on Twitter. Sammy Snyder Queen, she seems to be behind sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. What? It should be sell the Snyderverse to Amazon, because Amazon has money to burn through. Netflix can't afford this. So how about if anyone from this campaign, sell the Snyderverse to Netflix, actually listens to this video? They probably won't. How about you change it to Amazon? Because, careful for spoilers, Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world and they could actually afford it. Netflix is hemorrhaging money, losing subscribers. They're laying off staff because they're losing subscribers. They lose subscribers. They lose turnover. So if any company is actually gonna have the financials to do it, sell it to Amazon. Although it's not actually technically even possible for this to happen, Amazon would be the company. So how about we sell it to Amazon, guys? If you want to have this narrative and this agenda, sell it to Amazon. DC drama Dead Boy Detective moves to Netflix. Okay, who the hell knows what Dead Boy Detectives is? Greg Berlanti's spin-off, which doesn't align with God of Monsters, the DCU, which is the new name for the DC movie universe. Sounds like Dungeons and Dragons to me. It doesn't make any sense to sell it to Netflix. Hypothetically speaking, take it to Amazon, because they have literally money to hemorrhage. Netflix are losing money. So, based on James Gunn's comments, it is actually possible to have the Snyderverse elsewhere, or is he trolling? We don't know. So, the movie The Flash includes Grant Gustin on a hero TV film guide. Grant Gustin in the Flash movie, a new official visual companion which appeared on Reddit for the DC Flash movie, featured Grant Gustin's version of The Flash, potentially hinting at the character showing up in the film. And yeah, you can clearly see it's your boy Grant Gustin. Grant is in the showcase alongside with Ezra Miller and a number of other Scarlet Speedsters as well. They did cross over on the Arrowverse, and that is canon. So is Grant Gustin in the movie? We don't know. He's probably not, but he could be. It's looking very likely that he would be, because they need to throw every single person they can in this movie to get rid of the perception of the Ezra Miller drama. So throw Grant in. People love Grant, put him there. So in the news, Michael Keaton's Batman return. First plot details revealed. I find this headline funny when the whole plot for this movie has been online for like a year or so. There was another headline the other day. Oh, the Flash villain revealed. It's been known it's been Dark Flash for over a year now. So these first plot details. When Barry Allen arrives in the alternate 2013, he urgently seeks out the expertise of his old friend and mentor, Bruce Wayne. But the one he finds is in the multiverse, is different on all fronts. Older, long retired from service as Gotham City Protector, and somehow even more hardened than the billionaire superhero Barry has grown to know. With a global threat on the horizon, Bruce Wayne must decide whether he can become Batman once more. I feel like at this point, they are putting so much information out there. They are basically ruining their own movie by telling you so much information about what Keaton's doing. And not only that, they've hinted that Keaton could be in the DCU long-term in cameo role positions. We know he was paid and filmed a few scenes for Batgirl where he was kind of going to be mentoring Batgirl in that movie. So the potential for Keaton to stay around long-term is quite possible, because if you look at all the merchandise that's coming out, there is so much Michael Keaton, the Batmobile from his movie. There is so much merchandise coming out for him, where the new heads at Warner Bros. Would be stupid not to have him cameo after this movie going forward. We know that James Gunn flip-flops, changes his mind all the time, says we're getting a new Batman, a new Superman, younger Superman, but apparently now he could be 30 to 35, when younger Superman would imply 20 to 25. So we know that James Gunn does like to flip-flop, does like to change his mind. Batman, brave and the bold. Supposed to be getting a new Batman in that movie. For some reason, people keep going, Ben Affleck will be directing that. Now, we know James Gunn wants Ben Affleck to direct a movie in the DC universe. I do think that Ben Affleck is really talented. He's so much more talented on the screen than he is directing it. Don't get me wrong, I do think he's a decent director. I just don't understand why so many DC fans on Twitter, at least, but Twitter means absolutely nothing, wants Ben Affleck to direct Batman Brave and the Bold, because then it could invoke the Deathstroke movie that we were supposed to get with Ben Affleck taking on Joe Manganiello Deathstroke. So Batman Brave and the Bold apparently is actually supposed to center around Damian Wayne, and Batman is supposed to be more of a secondary character from what I'm hearing from behind the scenes. So are we going to see Keaton long term? If the Flash movie bangs, hypothetically, I do think we could see Michael Keaton sticking around, or at least appearing somewhat in a position similar to what the late great, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy did, playing Bruce Wayne in the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earth. We could get a variation of that in the future, so that wouldn't be James Gunn misleading anyone, because an older Batman from the multiverse could appear in the future. And we know that in the original movie, it was supposed to be, even after Barry changes his timeline and puts the can of soup back, it is still supposed to be Michael Keaton that appears towards the end of the movie. It was shot to prove the timeline was put back together, but Sasha Calle Supergirl and Michael Keaton Batman still appearing at the end of the movie instead of Ben Affleck Batman, which I still think is a major mistake. They should keep Ben Affleck Batman around, just not have him do anything. Doesn't really make a difference, but we could see Keaton going forward, but we don't know, because if he's going to be there after Barry puts the tin of, yeah, I mean, this is literally from the test screen. When Barry puts the tin of soup back and he's back in the normal timeline, Keaton and Sasha Calle Supergirl is still going to be there. Now we know, based on most recent information, this is not going to be a post-credit scene. George Clooney Batman is also going to be in a movie. I don't know why they would go with Clooney over Christian Bale. If they were going to bring any other Batman back, so we got Ben Affleck, we got Keaton, allegedly Clooney's in this movie. Maybe Christian Bale wanted too much money, but for nostalgic reasons, he's going to appear to prove that Barry can run to any timeline, and it will essentially prove that whatever happened before this movie can still happen again, in theory, because Barry can literally run to any timeline. So I do find it funny when they say the Flash movie kicks off the new DC universe, but then it's like, no, actually, Superman Legacy kicks off the new universe. Is there even a new universe? We don't know. So, Gal Gadot was supposed to be cut from the Flash movie. Well, she's got a pinnacle role in Shazam 2 Fury of God. She's literally in trailers. So, official Funko Pop merchandise for the Flash movie has 1334, which is the Wonder Woman Funko Pop. So why is there a Funko Pop for a character that doesn't appear in a movie? Now, don't get me wrong. This has happened before. And as I've said before, there is supposed to be a miniature Justice League scene at the start of the Flash movie where we see Ben Affleck, Batfleck on the Batcycle. Gal Gadot Wonder Woman is supposed to be there as well. So the fact that there's a Funko Pop there with Wonder Woman wielding her lasso of truth tells us that most likely they are still going to be using Wonder Woman in this movie and in Shazam 2, and also James Gunn hasn't really said if Gal is still Wonder Woman. He's dancing around that fact. We don't know if she is. We don't know if she isn't. So they cancelled Wonder Woman 3 because it didn't align with the new universe. But that doesn't mean she's not Wonder Woman. The fact that she's in Shazam 2 and is also in the Flash movie basically solidifies and confirms that she will be Wonder Woman moving forward, but we don't know, do we? All we know is allegedly we're getting a new Batman, a new Superman. Every other role is kind of up in the air until after every DC movie's come out. For some reason, he's just made it really clear that Superman is not Henry Cavill. Batfleck is no longer Batman, although we kind of knew that one anyway. It's a very interesting time to be a DC fan. Apparently the Flash movie is now locked. The score's done, the music's done. So nothing else will be changed, but there could still be surprises. I mean, for me, it literally makes no sense to pay Henry Cavill $250,000 and then not use his scene, because it doesn't matter anyway, because this movie is like a goodbye to the SnyderVerse, I guess, in a roundabout way. Unless Amazon buys them, which it's not even up for sale. But if it would be, Netflix couldn't afford them, but Amazon could. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.